Reading fairy tales is a common nightly activity in every child's home. In fairy tales, children obtain their primary source of moral values, sense of justice, compass of societal expectations. One lesson children learn is gender roles, especially female grace or male bravery. In other words, fairy tales are full of these dominant themes. A lot of young girls may allude to being beautiful as an important asset, while boys might consider being courageous and assertive as a necessary trait. In fact, in the stories Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, and Snow White, these tales contain negative stereotypes and incorrect concepts about the roles of women and men in society. Since many children are not able to tell the difference between fantasy and fact, they may try to act like the characters inside the fairy tales. For instance, Cinderella is very meek and obedient even in the face of cruelty. She does not defend herself when her stepsisters did her every imaginable injury and forced her to sleep by the hearth in the cinders. Young children reading this would clearly feel sympathy for Cinderella, but they should actually feel disgusted because Cinderella does nothing to better her situation. In fact, Cinderella's fate is changed only when a mysterious fairy godmother magically appears and changes her life. Also, the glass slipper that accidentally falls off her foot is not only Cinderella's doing. So the stereotype is that a young girl does not have to do much to have a good life as long as she is lucky. Therefore, this fairy tale is not really instilling proper values. Another negative stereotype in fairy tales is the emphasis on beauty and domestication, which may result in young girls' wrong conception of their roles in society. For instance, Snow White is very beautiful, but also domesticated. After she runs away from the huntsman's chase, she results in taking care of 7 dwarfs' house, cook, make the bed, wash, sew, and knit. Beside her housewifely characteristics, her stepmother, the evil witch, gets rid of her because of Snow White's beauty. Furthermore, the huntsman could not kill Snow White as she is too lovely to be killed. At the end of the story, she is saved by the handsome prince's kiss, again because she is very beautiful. Young girls reading this would think that they must be beautiful like Snow White to be of any worth. Finally, in Sleeping Beauty, the story insists on the fancy love of the princess and the prince, how he saves her from trouble. After the curse on Aurora, the only child of the king, everyone in the castle falls to a deep sleep until the arrival of a courageous prince. The prince is able to overcome any challenge or danger, even though he has never met the princess he is destined to save. Announcing, "I am not afraid, I must go and see the Sleeping Beauty." In my opinion, this is ridiculous. It is impossible to imagine a man bold and audacious enough to take huge risks, all for the sake of adventure and love. It is incredible. This type of fairy tales indeed creates a facade, the wrong explanation of one's identity. Thus, young readers may be misguided by the story. In essence, the improper concept of gender stereotype presented in these fairy tales should not be implied excessively in children's literature. Those unreal references may influence young girls' perspective of her own value in life and their further growth. They may fantasize the arrival of the Grand Prince Charming, thus becoming idealistic and unrealistic instead of relying on their own merits to shape their future. These very illogical and inappropriate stories feed into wrong impressions of reality that have no place in children's bedtime stories.